everyone, welcome back to Pommy and Alls. I hope you're doing really well. It's a great day today, isn't it? I'm feeling good. It's Friday. I can feel the avenues of change going. So if you are new around here, please do yourselves a favour. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. It does mean the world to me and it really does help the channel out. We're growing ever so fast. A lot of you have asked for this. Obviously, I'll do a more in-depth one on Blue Abroad that's Carlton relevant. But what I've done today is I've taken the top 5 players in this year's draft that I am personally have kept an eye on and I'm really looking forward to seeing. So we're going to go into it, a little bit of their strengths, a little bit of their weaknesses, what they're about, what I've noticed about them, and we'll have a bit of fun. And just let me know in the comments, who do you want to take? Who do you want to see at your club? Who are you keeping an eye on? Who are you excited about? Now, obviously, the first one without any surprise whatsoever, and a guy that has really caught my eye and obviously has been the talk this year of this draft class, is none other than Nick Dacos. Now, Nick Dacos has really got a lot of the pundits. There's him and Horn, who are probably really the best 2 players in this draft class. And Nick Dacos obviously is linked with Collingwood. So Swoop Luke will really enjoy this. But he is an exceptional footballer, and I am super excited about seeing this. He's got that time-stopping ability in traffic, which is really rare, and it's something that you can't teach. He kind of has, in traffic, he's got Pendlebury vibes, you know, where the feet are going, but the time just stops, and he finds space. He invariably finds the real attacking move. He's a real attacking player, and he's got a real low centre of gravity, and he turns into the tackles, which in nowadays game really does kind of, he's a free kick just machine. He's going to get a lot of free kicks. He naturally turns into them tackles, which is really important. And he really is the kind of team, to use an American phrase that I absolutely despise, but I'm going to use it anyway. He is a franchise player, let's say that. He's the kind of player that you would build a team around. Dacos is instantly ready to go. And I know that there is some question marks. His defensive application, people say his tackles, his disposal efficiency. Disposal efficiency always genuinely gets better when they're in an AFL system. That is a common trait. But this type of player, you don't worry about his disposal efficiency, because when he gets the ball 20 to 25 times, this guy is going to impact. His ability to score, they'll slot him across half forward in his first couple of years, probably run him through the midfield. He's an absolute jet, and he's someone that I am really excited about. For someone that, as you know me, you know I love the draft. I love looking at the next generation. This kid is going to be something else, and I'm not even putting pressure on him, and I don't even think that has any pressure on him. He is an absolute go-getter. I'm really excited about seeing him play. He's going to be one of them players that, you know, him and Walsh. I also classify Durden in this category. I know we haven't quite seen it yet. A bums on seat footballer. You're going to get your bum off it. You're going to watch him. This kid is so good. And I think it's been downplayed, if anything. If I'm honest, just his attacking prowess. If I was a Pie fan, it makes me cringe saying that. I'd be excited. But honestly, we're honoured to see an AFL competition with Dacos and Walsh in it. These 2 are going to be jets, and it's going to be exciting about seeing them go at it. It's going to be a really exciting factor. Then, my next one, and this is probably Carlton relevant because I've been a huge fan of this, is Josh Rochelle. Now, absolute superstar. Don't often say this about people, probably do, but honestly, I'm a huge fan of this kid. Now, he's going to go anywhere probably from 5 to 20, depends. He plays that half forward, slotting into the midfield role, so it's kind of, where is he? Where is he in that type of thing? But this kid is phenomenal. Like, honestly, this guy has got kind of American sniper-like feet. When he kicks the ball, he hits the target. He is an absolute dynamo just on the outside of 50. He knows where goals are. He's really explosive in and around the stoppages. He gets the tough ball. He's a real pressure magnet as well. And he's got that wonderful ability as well to be phenomenal in the air, but also phenomenal at the deck. This, for me, is a player that is going under the radar. And I don't get excited about anyone. We know in my draft videos, I'm not bigging myself up. I think I've got quite a good eye for young talent. This guy is just someone that I just think if you pick him up, he's ready to go round one. I get vibes of kind of like a hybrid between Papley and Jackie Martin type things. Just like kind of that vibe somewhere in between there. Now, obviously, same weaknesses about him, consistency, endurance, all that bollocks. But I hate talking about that because they're young players, they're young boys, and we're now going to turn them into men. This kid is brilliant, and I wouldn't be surprised this kid in the right system and the right formulation could have the impact in a good system of Dustin Martin. And I know that's a huge call, but honestly, see him play. Go and watch the highlights. This kid finds traffic. He's an excitement machine. He's the kind of player that I would pay $50, $100 to go and see. He is a real excitement machine, and I can't wait to see him play. And I pray to God our team picks him up. He is an absolute superstar. Absolute superstar. The next guy we're going to look at, and this one is another one who hasn't really been talked about, but I really like him, and that's Josh Goater. And he can float through defence, midfield. He's done a little bit in the half-forward line. He's a contested ball winner. He's kind of like a Rory Laird at the minute, though. It's like, is he a backman? Is he a midfielder? You just don't know. But this guy has got all the hallmarks for me to be that really good accompanying midfielder. And I could see him playing that kind of Trent Cotchin role for a side moving forward. He's very versatile. He goes through the midfield, like we say. He's very composed. He reads the ball exceptionally well. He reads the play, strong in the air. He's a real energy wire there in the midfield as well. He really looks to take the game on, really looks to get the tackle, real high levels as well of work rate. He's kind of been moved around pillar to post though in his juniors, and it's kind of like where is his best position, because he's kind of like a jack of all trades. But I really do see that in the right system, if you get him, and I think he will be in a top 15 pick, 5 to 15, I'd have him. I think he's a really solid footballer, and I think he could be a really good player. And I think he's one of these players that I look at, and you hear the names, top 5 players. He's going to be one of them ones that I would suspect, if you look after him right, you make a decision now, and I think he's an on-baller. I think he is an inside midfielder. And you give him that role as that kind of getter-outer, and you build him into that mould. I think when you redo this draft, he will be ahead of a lot of people who went before him. He's a really exceptional footballer. And he's really got that ability from looking at him through his juniors of really, every time I see him, he's got better in a certain avenue. So that shows to me that he's got a terrific, really strong learning ability. That's what you want when you draft these kids. Kids that are going to soak up the knowledge and be better. And I'm really impressed with him because his handball game is elite. He really gets the ball moving. So with Josh Goater, if you select him, you want him to kind of be that Trent Cotchin type role, that kind of just the barometer of tempo, I'll call it. And he's a really solid footballer. And I am a huge fan of Josh Goater. And I think he will go in a selection where you'll get a bargain. Whoever takes Goater after 5, it's an absolute steal. Next guy we're looking at is Mac Andrew. Now, this guy here is linked with Melbourne. So, chances are he goes to Melbourne. Now, he's a ruckman. Now, he is really strong. Real strong tapping on the ground. And he's very like Max Gawn in the terms that he runs around behind the ball, looking to peel off them intercepting marking. He's got real strength below his feet. He's real strong ruck craft. Exceptional marker of the football. He's not scared to do the rough stuff, and he just gets there. The long arms, spoiling. You're slotting behind the ball. Now, Luke Jackson does this for Melbourne, so obviously there's going to be that question marks. Do Melbourne take him? Are they looking at playing dual rucks? Asks a lot of questions, but this kid, once he puts a bit of body on, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Now, they could look at maybe developing him elsewhere as a forward. His kicking is okay, but obviously that'll be a craft. Obviously, with his light frame, it's going to be tough, to be a one-on-one defender as well, because that is obviously he's very light framed. But looking at players who were similar like this in the draft class, it's not hard to get him a stake and get him on the treadie, get him lifting weights. This kid is really, really something. He's got a real nice little niche about him, and I'm really excited about seeing him play. Incidentally, in the NGA, Carlton have got a player as well from Carlton, Dominic Akui, who is really, really similar to this guy. He's probably not as far gone in his ruckcraft, but another player that I would suspect Carlton take from our NGA, and he's a really, really strong player, very similar to McAndrew. I'm not saying he's as good as McAndrew yet, but definitely got scope, and he's another player that has learned on the job. Bit more big-bodied as well than McAndrew, but honestly, McAndrew is an absolute solid footballer. And a footballer that I think you're going to need to lean on him. But Melbourne probably perfect side. Max gone for 3 or 4 years. Luke Jackson to slot in. And then while this guy gets his body up right, it'll be solid. But this guy is a really exceptional footballer. And one that I've really enjoyed watching. And it's a shame we've got that NGA. And then the final guy we're going to look at is none other than legend that is. And I've talked about him a lot already. And that is Rhys Barker. Now, this tall intercept marking specialist really is a really excitement machine. Coming from WA, he's had his injury issues, but this kid, honestly, is absolutely phenomenal. A huge leap, huge intercept mark, takes the game on, 195 already, so he's going to grow because he's still 18, so he's got 3 years of growth. So I'd expect to see that plateau maybe about 198 to say the safe side. He's an absolute jet. Now, because of his injuries, he's going to slide down. So this is probably a second, third rounder. You're going to get yourself a bargain. He's an intercept. Honestly, he's a beast. Decent kick as well. Takes the game on. Reads the ball in flight. Very strong as well, one-on-one. And good below his knees. Problem is, obviously, with the injuries. He's had a few injuries. And how is that going to affect him? But for a second, third rounder, you are getting a guy that is in the Harris Andrews mould. Like, honestly, like it could be that Harris Andrews story. A guy that slid down, that suddenly becomes a jet. Real strong, because he's ready to go almost straight away, because you can play him as the third tall interceptor, give him a bit of protection, moving him into the key positions in the next 2 years. Real elite football. Like, I can't rave about this kid enough. He's got something about him. Like, honestly, you can't teach that. There's some things you can't teach, and the ability just to read the game and also have that stop-go. And what I mean by that is that ability to take the mark and know when to play on quickly, when to slow it down. And this kid has got it. Natural leadership in him, are real strong. And the thought of Wheater and Bazo in the next couple of years is just a dream, man. It's a dream. Absolute jet footballer. Whoever picks him up in that second to third, I'd say leave it in the first round, but second and third, you bite the button all day long. This kid is talent, man. Talent. Talent. Well, enjoy it. And honestly, let me know in the comments who you're looking forward to. Who are you looking forward to? Is there any J picks? Who else do you want to have a look out for? Let me know. They're my 5 favourites that I'm looking forward to seeing in the AFL next year. Let me know yours. We'll have a discussion. As always, good to be back doing footy content. See you soon.